Ladybird and Contrabando, two new fragrances from the powerhouse that is Fulton Roark. Love Fulton Roark as a company because they consistently deliver on quality customer service and really interesting, unique, one-of-a-kind fragrances. If you've not already checked them out, make sure you do that. I'll have links in the description box down below. They're an incredible company. Okay. Now let's talk about Ladybird. First of all, it does have the iconic glass Fulton Roark bottle that I think is so beautiful. This is the dark glass. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but you can actually see through it. It's not totally opaque. Beautiful, hand blown, a really nice metal top, and a great atomizer. I always feel like the spritz I get out of these bottles is really hearty. Ladybird was inspired by Ladybird Lake in Texas, and at the open of this one, we have Blackjack Blossom. Now, this was a new to me fragrance note. It's said to be mild, sweet, and slightly peppery. I personally love a peppery open. I love something that's punchy and attention grabbing, so that sounds really promising to me. We also in the open have fresh raspberry. I always love raspberry as a note because I think it brings a lot of freshness, a really balanced sweetness, right? Because it's that perfect berry sweetness that has just a little bit of tartness that cuts and keeps it fresh and not overly edible or saccharine. And then we do also have a note of pink pepper in the open. Pink pepper is going to be similar to what you smell and experience in your kitchen. However, in fragrance, it's going to be more aromatic. It gives something that's nice, soft, spicy, warm. And a lot of times in fragrance, it's used as a note in the open to create something that is a burst of energy at the open, but dries down into something that a little softer and woodier. The middle notes, I think, are what is going to make a lot of people excited. This does have a note of bluebonnet in the middle. Bluebonnet is something that I know a lot of people love and look for, and is pretty rare in fragrance, but smells so wonderful because it's a clean, almost aquatic floral. I really love non-traditional florals, so I was really excited about the bluebonnet being included. Something that's fresh, clean, springy, iconically floral. We also have freesia. It's floral, fruity, a little bit peppery in the undertone. So again, we're kind of echoing that opening, which is creating some harmony. And then we have rose, which is the most classic in my mind floral. I experience rose as being a little green and tea-like. Can to me at times lean a little older. So I'm hoping and I trust that Fulton Roark will make this one really good and modern. And then at our base, the heart of the fragrance, we have warm and balanced resinous with a little bit of sweetness. Again, something that's not saccharine. And in my experience, Fulton Roark ambers pull musky, powdery on me. So I think they do amber very well. We also at the base have cedarwood, so warm, dry, woody, think almost clean pencil shavings, maybe a little bit of pine in there. And then we also have musk, so a clean, skin-like powdery base. All of these notes have me really excited. So that is what we have in the bottle. Let's see what we can smell. Let's experience this for the first time together. Wow. Okay. Wow. Immediately at the open, I get that raspberry, classic, perfectly balanced raspberry, and those peppers are really subtle. This isn't a pepper bomb at the open. I mostly get that raspberry with just a hint of warmness that I think is probably coming from the pepper, and the florals are already there. The bluebonnet to me is right there even at the open, so I'm super excited to see what it does in the dry down. I know that I expressed my concern that I didn't want the rose to pull too old or too, what's the word that I'm looking for? Or stuffy or overdone. This is really light. These florals are light with just a hint of sweetness. We're gonna have to give it some time to warm up on my skin. I can tell that this is balanced and anchored by a warmth and a depth that I'm sure is coming from the base, but I'm really interested to see what we experience in the dry down, because right now, right out of the bottle, I've got raspberry, tiny little bit of warmth from the pepper, and bluebonnet and freesia, which doesn't smell like anything I've ever smelled before. It's light, it's fresh, it's airy, floral, beautiful. If this was a season, it would be spring. If this were day or night, it would be day. This does pull very feminine. I know that all of Fulton Roark is meant to be unisex, and of course fragrance is whatever you make it, but to me this leans very classically feminine. I've given this some time to open up so we can experience the dry down, and I have to say the amber and cedarwood are really subtle. I think that the musk is the star of this dry down. Powdery, light, skin-like dry down. It's still warm like the amber you would expect, but it's totally light and clean. This is really gorgeous. If you are looking for something that's light, clean, a modern, fun floral, but still just classically beautiful, you're going to love Ladybird. So now let's switch gears to Contrabando. Now I'm really excited about this because this was actually inspired by an abandoned Western film set in Texas. I love Westerns. I actually was in a Western, so I was super excited about this. Let's break it down and then smell it for the first time together. So the open consists of bergamot zest, cucumber, and ambrette. Bergamot zest, of course, is like a citrus note. It's gonna be bright, fresh, clean, zesty. Cucumber, something green, watery, also clean, vegetal, spa-like. And then ambrette I want to talk about because this is actually derived from a plant that creates a musky note. So it's a really great way to get a musky note and fragrance without obviously having synthetic musk. I just thought that was really interesting. I love ambrette. I love musky note. Ambrette's going to be musky, slightly fruity, and maybe a little nutty and delicate floral undertone. So really interesting open on this. I'm excited to see what it's like. And the middle notes, we have galbanum. This is new to me. So I researched it and it said it's a gum resin that's derived from a ferula plant, and it reads as intensely green, resinous, slightly bitter, and earthy. I love Fulton Roark for this reason because they're always introducing me to something new and exciting. We have orris in the middle note. In fragrance, orris comes from a root of a flower that's similar to an iris. Now this root is used a lot because it creates some that is complex and beautiful. It's supposed to be a really high quality fragrance ingredient, and it gives you that really great powdery floral violet-like woody nuance. And then we also have ocotillo. Ocotillo is a spiny red flowered shrub. Think of a quintessential desert plant and you've got ocotillo. It smells dry, woody, and subtly smoky, desert-like resinous undertone. So let's stop for a minute and just talk about this. I'm expecting the opening to be bright green, fresh hint of musk from that ambrette. And then in the middle, just because we have a lot of new to me ingredients, let's talk about this. So the galbanum is going to build on that greenness that we're getting at the open, where the orris is going to be introducing some powdery floral, and then ocotillo is bringing some wood and spice. So you can see as we go, it's getting a little bit more complex, but still echoing some of what we had in the open. And then at the base, part of the fragrance, we have cedarwood. Again, I love cedarwood. Dry, clean, almost pine-like, pencil shaving, clean wood. I love cedarwood as a base note. And then we have patchouli. Now, admittedly, I'm not the biggest patchouli fan, but I think Fulton Roark does it really well. If you're looking for what patchouli smells like, think something that's woody, camphorated green, earthy, mossy, maybe a bit balsamic and moldy. And then you have a base note of soft leather. So anchoring this with something smoky, warm, animalic, sexy. I am really intrigued and excited. There's nothing else. Let's see what we've got here with Contrabando. Oh my goodness. Ooh, oh my goodness. Okay, that is beautiful. I love very fresh green fragrances, and this is like a bomb of freshness. We definitely have that cucumber, that vegetal, clean, watery, spa-like greenness at the open, but it is balanced with a little spice of the bergamot zest, and the ambrette seeds bring something in the opening that balances it so you don't feel like you're smelling a cut up cucumber on a counter. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Wow. There is some spice. I am getting a nice spice mixed in with this opening. As it opens up, it's getting warmer. It still is intensely green. That's probably coming from that galbanum, but it is warm. I'm wondering if that's that ocotillo, that kind of spicy woody that's already coming through. Oh, this is amazing. Let's let it open up a little and see what we have so far. And if you want something that's intensely fresh and green with a punch of sexy spice, phenomenal. Allow this some time to open up, and it just gets better with time because I think that it deepens and intensifies. I think that cedarwood and patchouli and leather are really soft, subtle, well balanced, and well done, and they're just anchoring it in something that's really deep that doesn't undermine that really nice intense green. Only serves to like deepen and ground it. I did do some research on this leather note, and it's described as a pyrogenous leather, which means, so pyro, right? Pyrogenous. Think of whenever you're smelling leather being worked, like I was in Florence, and you're thinking of tanned leather, so you get almost a little bit of a burnt smell. And I think that some of that warm spiciness that I have coming through is from the heat of that leather. The patchouli is super subtle, not overdone at all, and I do get the warmth of the wood and the cedar wood. Contrabando is beautiful. I know when you hear that, those bass notes, you might be thinking of something that's masculine, but this is truly unisex as well. This would play beautifully, and of course it's gonna work its magic on your skin. Contrabando is beautiful. If you want something unique, intensely green, clean, but also at the same time smoky, sexy, warm, and woody, this is for you. I can definitely see the Texas spirit in both of these. Something that is rugged, unique, and natural. Truly incredible fragrances. You guys have to go and smell these. Let me know, what do you think of these fragrances? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. I love you all so much, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.